Hello, everyone. This is Betty Rivera from Keller Williams, and welcome you to our page here, our Facebook page. I'm here with Jonathan Forgash from Queenstogether, a local Queens nonprofit organization. Now, Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit about this organization?
Sure. So Queenstogether came about literally at the beginning of the virus, the COVID crisis when it hit New York.
Wow.
My now partner, Jamie Fabian, who is the executive director of the Sunnyside Business Improvement District
Mhm.
here in Queens, we sat down and we decided to do what we could to help our community. And the idea was, let's raise money online
Mhm.
and pay restaurants, commercial kitchens, caterers to create food to feed hospital workers and to feed, uh, how else do you say it, families that were
Okay.
facing food and economic scarcity.
Yeah, I saw that Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big problem everywhere, but really here in Queens, we were hit pretty hard by it. So
Mhm.
we started up and we started a webpage and we got volunteers stepping up and donors. And so now it's early July. And since the end of March, we've raised almost $90,000. And it's really amazing. We've
Right.
helped restaurants prepare over 25,000 meals
Wow.
to workers at hospitals, frontline workers, and people at food pantries. Um, Hundreds of volunteers have stepped up to help us donate. As you know, Beatrice, you were with us last Thursday. Queenstogether now has its very own food pantry called Veggie Days.
Ah.
And yeah, so you were there and we fed about 500 people. We started, I think May 28th was our first date.
Okay.
And we've expanded. We work with about 7 other food pantries. And when I say food pantries, I mean other groups of volunteers, regular people that stepped up to help out in their community. And
Great.
we feed about 1,700 families every single week between Astoria, Corona, Jackson Heights, Flushing, all the way down to the Rockaways, Ozone Park, St. Albans, Laurelton, and Jamaica.
It's a big chunk of Queens. Yeah.
It is, and it's all because people have stepped up to help each other. And I know times are really bad right now, but it's really heartening.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice to see that. I
It,
mean, it
it
was nice
really
being
is.
there, seeing all those people stepping up, and they're all being patient, waiting for their turn to get what they can. And you
Yeah.
guys did an outrageous job. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
But tell us a little bit about where you came from, because you have it just hit me right now that you were dealing with food at one time. You were a
Mhm.
chef.
Yeah. I moved to Queens around 1995 as I was starting up as a chef. I was working in the film industry. Excuse me. I had a catering company. We did television, film, fashion, music videos.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was super exciting, and I absolutely loved it. And working and shooting film and cooking in Queens is amazing. The food I could offer my film crews was extraordinary. Real
Nice.
food from all over the world. And so for 25 years, a chef, a business owner here in Queens. I also got into humanitarian work. I did fundraising and food events for an organization called Immigrant Families Together.
Okay.
They are also based here in Queens, and they work with the families that were being detained and separated at the border over the past couple of years. So we did all these food events, and that's actually how I met my partner, Jamie Fabian. She attended one of our events last fall, and we talked about this idea of creating an association for food businesses throughout Queens. Surprisingly, there isn't one.
I know. I was surprised too.
Yeah, and we had this idea that we could create a really big, powerful voice, a voting block, if you will, to, take on some of the third-party vendors and, online ordering apps that take advantage of these small businesses. Sort of a way to band together, have some power.
Yeah.
And one of our pillars was going to be community service, because restaurants are always asked to give. My child's school's fundraiser, our church, our synagogue, our mosque, this fundraiser, that event. Chefs always give back. It's what we do. It's why we do what we do.
Okay.
And community service is such a part of who we are that we thought it should be an important function of what Queenstogether as an association would do. We weren't prepared for what happened with the crisis. We weren't even planning on registering as a 501 until the summer. But I'll tell you, the end of March, Jamie and I sat down and she's like, we have to do something now. So no name, no business, no nothing.
Okay.
She came up with the name Queenstogether.
It's a nice name.
It says what it does. And we just jumped in and we started doing what we do. We have big mouths and we have a lot of, connections. And if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't ask people to step up and help, you never know. Mm-hmm. So we just started opening our mouths and asking and demanding and begging and pleading and sharing our story. And here we are.
That's nice. That's really great. Good story there. And
Thanks.
could you tell us a little bit about I guess what's working in the community right now? I mean, right now you're trying to shift it a little, right?
Yeah. So July 1st, we got our filing receipt from the IRS to become a 501c3. So we're still pending, but we're on our way. We are now Queenstogether Incorporated, a nonprofit organization. And we are going full steam ahead to make this a reality in our lives, our careers, and for the Queens community. So we are expanding our community service. We are rolling out more fundraisers for restaurants to raise money to cook food, for food pantries, soup kitchens, churches, other organizations that are getting food out to people. We are now creating a membership association for our small business food industry in Queens to create one big powerful voice out of many to fight for our rights and fight for the rights of our community and help them. So we are growing, and you are actually my first interview on this topic. So thank you so much for allowing me to talk about this.
Absolutely. Needs to get out though.
It does. And so as far as what we're doing in the community, unfortunately, the sprint of jumping in and helping out our community, I think it's over. I think now we're in this for the long haul, the marathon. And how do we do this? Well, we have people reaching out to us every day. They need food for their members, their congregants, whoever. We're running into more and more people just like us who are either just starting up at this or have been at this for a while, but their supply chains of food are gone. So I think we're all figuring this out together.
You're connecting with these other restaurants to be able to feed these people.
Well, more than that, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but what's been happening in the news recently, with this, the protests, and the rallies and people standing up for rights, Black Lives Matter, and we work with these groups now that are new friends, new allies and partners in this fight, and we are now reaching across these neighborhoods, these communities to work together. So this isn't about protest for us. This isn't about rally. This is about connecting with other neighbors who are equally in the fight to feed themselves and their neighbors. So it's with these people that we are reaching out and doing food pantries with, and we are getting food out to the neighborhoods. This is only about helping our fellow human beings who are facing food and economic scarcity. There are no barriers there. All the barriers and bridges fall away. This is about human beings taking care of one another. And that's it. So, anyone watching who needs help or who can help us, please reach out, queenstogether.org, Jonathan at queenstogether.org, or Jamie at queenstogether.org, and let's continue this fight. Let's continue to help each other.
And could you add your number in there, just in case they need to reach you, your telephone number?
Sure, 917-626-8960. But truly, it is just Jamie and I working the phones and doing this. So an email would be great. You can volunteer. You can sign up to volunteer. There's a link on the website. You can sign up to become a food provider, one of our restaurants and kitchens, getting paid to provide food to people. There will shortly be a membership page for restaurants and food businesses that want to join our association. There is even a link where if you are having food issues at home with your family, that we can direct you to a mutual aid society. We don't deal with one-on-one. We're just not equipped yet. I'm very sorry. But we can help direct you to the right places to get the help that you need.
That's just great, Jonathan. You guys are doing a lot of stuff out there. I'm very proud of it in Queens that it's out here for us and for the people who need it. And there's a lot
Sure.
of people who need it out there.
Yeah, so yeah, and it's not just volunteer groups and other nonprofits and businesses. As you know, you work for Keller Williams.
Hmm.
Can I talk about this?
Sure, absolutely.
So back in April, I was contacted by someone at Keller Williams here in Queens,
Mhm.
and you have this Red Day fundraiser that you do every year.
Big
And
event.
this year, Keller Williams did a fundraiser for the work Queens Together is doing in the community with hospitals and organizations and people who are hungry.
Right.
Um, so I am really pleased and honored to say that you raised close to $9,000 and
Yeah,
your organization has given us the money. And we are actually in the process this week of setting up the deals with the kitchens to get the food out to the people who need it most.
that's so great, Jonathan. I'm very
Yeah,
happy about that. That's nice.
yeah, it's amazing. So Keller Williams has stepped up
Mhm.
more than many and taken care of their own community here in Queens. So thank you for taking care of
Definitely want for that,
your
yes.
neighbors. Um, Once again, proof that this crisis brings everyone together: businesses, corporations, nonprofits, community organizations, Chamber of Commerce in Queens.
Hmm.
Queens Economic Development Corporation has been a huge asset. They're actually our fiscal sponsor. Politicians of every stripe, everybody is stepping up.
That's so great. It's good to hear
It-
that, because you're just not sure, sometimes, but it's good to hear that they're stepping up and then doing the right thing. And it's,
Yeah.
you guys are going to blow up going forward. It sounds like do you have a calendar set up like in your webpage where you know what's going on like day to day? Okay,
Um,
okay.
Honestly, the only day to day we have is all right. So our food pantry is called Veggie Days. It is every Thursday at the Boys and Girls Club, who is our sponsor for this event.
Okay, where I
Um,
went there that day, right?
right,
Okay,
that's where you are. Thursday, 21st Street and 30th Road in Astoria.
okay.
Um, if you are in need, please show up. We don't require any documentation, nothing. Show up, take food home to your family, cook your family a good meal, because one of the most empowering things we can do as people is to cook for our loved ones.
I agree.
It's a sign of faith and empowerment to be able to take care of yourself and not just rely on, handouts from the government. Um,
Exactly.
so, please show up, and also the food that, comes from this also goes to, like I mentioned, the 7 food pantries around Queens. So if you do want to step up and do something, it doesn't have to be with Queens Together. I'm sure, very easily could find a food pantry or other community group in your very own neighborhood who
Hmm.
would love another set of hands.
Sure,
It is hard work. It's not,
sure is.
right. Um, it's a number of hours out in the sun lugging produce around. On the other hand, you can look at the line of people
Hmm.
wrapped around the block and behind the building on the next street for
Waiting.
5 or 6 hours, waiting patiently for their food. So a little bit of heat, a little bit of hard work won't kill you, but it will help a fellow human being.
And it says something about you, it definitely does, to be able to do that, and it's a positive feeling you get at the end. A little labor, but it's all worth it, I think so. And seeing their
I agree. You feel it's nice to go to bed at night tired, feeling like you did something good in your community, and
Mhm. You make
anyone
a
can do
difference.
that, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Is there anything else you want to add to the people, tell the people, any advice you want to give to our watchers out there?
Sure. So I'm the executive director of Queens Together. If I didn't say this, I would be remiss. Please go to queenstogether.org, click the donate button. $5, $20, $100, anything that you can give will actually create a real benefit to our restaurants, chefs, kitchens, their employees, and the people who need it most, the people we will be giving the food to. Queenstogether.org. Give what you can and please volunteer.
All
And
right.
thank you for all you've done.
Thank you, Jonathan, for your time. And I hope to see you again. I will definitely go when I have time. I will definitely, spend some time with you guys. Okay.
We will be there. And thank you for the idea of a calendar. I'll get to work on that.
All right. You take care. I see you soon. All
Thank
right.
you all. Bye-bye.